Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com today. I am your ridiculously over good brother, Anthony Florio, here, joined as always by my elite panel, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Phenom Michael Bowie, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel Dee Dee Woodson. A loaded show, so let's get right on into it. Monday Night Raw live tonight once again from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And all I can say is what a show we had tonight. And we started it off in-ring segment, Paul Heyman and the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar responding to Drew McIntyre, the recent attacks from a few weeks ago. And there's nothing really to say here. I mean, I know we're all going to be in agreement on this one. So it was the usual good quality from Heyman. And it's going to be very interesting to see if he drops any quote-unquote spoilers during next week's go-home show. So that's really all there is to say on that. I mean, I know my panel will agree with me, so we're not going to waste too much time on that. And then from there, we had the first of two. Yes, we had two repeat matches this evening. And the first repeat match takes us back to the 2015 Royal Rumble in Philadelphia when Brock Lesnar defended the then WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match against John Cena and Seth Rollins, a match that we all agreed was a 5-star classic, chock full of Shakespearean drama, and then some. Hop on over to MF's YouTube channel, BraceFan95, and relive our 2015 Royal Rumble review show, and that's it. And you'll hear us exactly say that. So, but anywho, well, it was real. All he really did was to set up Brock Lesnar, show him how dominant and what a freak of nature he is. That's really why they showed it. So, anyways, we move on. Now we get to the good stuff here. It was the phenomenal AJ Styles cutting a promo on The Undertaker, Gallows and Anderson with him. And, he pokes fun at The Undertaker, pokes fun at Michelle McCool like he's been doing. And then from there, well, if you wanted to see a one-on-one match between AJ Styles and The Undertaker, well, yes, you're going to get that, but it's not going to be a traditional wrestling match. This is going to be the first ever Boneyard match. Now, we have no idea what the rules are for this, but we're going to have to look into it. But when we get the details, we'll definitely share it. But it's going to be a Boneyard match. Let's reset here. It was a strange promo. And I like the attempt to be current with the Tiger King reference, but it was not clever. The Boneyard match is likely an example of a match that WWE will shoot outside the Performance Center, which should help with the flow of the show rather than running everything from the empty venue and what other venue that they're going to have. As they said, multiple locations. Now, I saw some photos of WWE production trucks outside of Full Sail University. I think we might have found our other venue. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But good old MF Michael Fletcher, come on in. I want to get your thoughts on this. AJ Styles and The Undertaker Boneyard match?
Okay, I've been doing some research on what they're talking about. Now, think about it. WrestleMania, pirate ship, maybe something a la maybe a pirate ship type style look of a match. Or there was one person that said this could be the equivalent of a Buried Alive. Now, if this is the case, obviously WWE cannot say Buried Alive. I mean, that you're going to go into a PG era, fine, we'll go there. But there was talk about maybe something as an equivalent to a Buried Alive. There was talk about it maybe being like a landfill style match where they're fighting near a landfill. Boneyard kind of gives me pirate ship, kind of, skull and crossbones. So maybe they create a pirate ship, something like that, and let them fight off that. Maybe first man to walk the plank loses the fight. So, I mean, that's what I'm thinking it's going to be. Obviously, this is one of those matches outside of the realm. That's why they say multiple locations. I think they could do this. This is very possible. I was wondering, now I know they would never do it, but could they have pulled it off at Raymond James Stadium? Maybe off that pirate ship. Now, I don't know if there's an actual platform or anything in the stadium. Maybe they could have used the pirate ship at Raymond James. Maybe that's what they were thinking originally when they were doing AJ versus Taker. Because imagine that. You got this huge ass pirate ship in Raymond James Stadium. Why not use it to your advantage? Maybe that's what they were thinking originally for WrestleMania. But, of course, with all the restrictions going on because of the coronavirus, WWE had to really do something different and everything else. But, again, we're just guessing here what the match could look like. I think we're going to need more details. Hopefully we get it next week because, remember, it's a 2-night event. So next week is literally the last chance we're going to get for WrestleMania. So, I mean, next week is WrestleMania week, guys. So let's see how they play this. So nothing more to add. Yeah, like I said, the concept is interesting. I've been doing research, hearing what it could be, but I think we're going to need more details. That's what I think we're all waiting for is what are we going to get? All right. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this is very interesting with this. I'm interested to see how this goes. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But man, guys, all I can say is, AJ Styles, he went there again. By golly, it's like I said, guys. AJ Styles is starting a fire that he may not be able to put out. It's one thing to go after Taker himself, but when you continue to bring up his family, especially Michelle McCool, yeah. Can we say, guys, open mouth, insert foot again from AJ Styles, guys?
I can agree with that, but the thing is, it's a big talk, and he's talking a lot. But the thing is, AJ is a guy that can actually back it up. But he might have bit off more than he could chew this time around.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Fletch, and you should know this from your. And let's not forget AJ Styles and John Cena, all the verbal jabs they had, and how personal that one was. That's nothing to compare to what AJ's doing with The Undertaker. And I'm going to say this, guys. I think this is way more personal than what AJ Styles and John Cena did. That's just how I feel. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, all I can say is, well, AJ may have bitten off. Oh, I guess we just lost her. So I guess,
for a moment, yeah.
Yeah. So Florio, I guess I'm going to give it to you. So either way, AJ Styles may have bitten more off than what he could chew.
Very much so. But at the same time, I mean, considering that Taker has gotten over on him a couple of times, maybe AJ actually wins the match. You never know.
Ooh.
Super Showdown.
It could.
Taker buried him.
It could.
Elimination Chamber. Taker costs AJ his match with Aleister Black.
Yeah. What a moment for AJ Styles if he could take over and topple the Undertaker. I mean, that would be a feather in the cap of his career. I mean, he's got a lot of big moments in his career. To say that he was the third man ever to take down Taker at WrestleMania? Whoa.
Very, very. I mean, it's just a thought. I mean, we still have some time. We still have some time to think about this. So we have until Friday night, April 3rd.
And here's another thing.
Yes,
I mean, he's had some big time wins in his career, from whether it was Impact Wrestling or anywhere else around the world.
New Japan.
New Japan, but this would be considered. I would have to say the biggest win. I would have to say that any of those other big time matches he had, whether it was New Japan Pro Wrestling or Impact Wrestling. I mean, to say that you went to WrestleMania and defeated a man who, that JBL has said, the greatest performer in the history of WrestleMania.
The Gunslinger. Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. But Didi Woodson, Didi had some mobile glitches. We got her back in. So Didi, do you have a quick thought about this supposed Boneyard match with Styles and Taker for Mania?
Boneyard makes me think almost in the lines of what Fletch is thinking, except that I'm going a little deeper into it. Do you think maybe Pirates of the Caribbean, they went into Davy Jones' locker? So yeah, it could be. I don't know. They could be doing just about anything for this. Like you guys said, it's multiple locations, and AJ pretty much has put his foot in his mouth. He's definitely crossed that personal line, but of course he's not the only one that has on the show, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, there's no telling. He brought up, graveyards. He brought up burying. Well, in a way, brought up burying. But with it pirate themed, yeah, the only thing I can think of is, the pirate boneyard would be Davy Jones' locker. So we'll have to see what happens. See where they actually go with this. So. And yeah, he brought up not just Michelle McCool, but he brought up Undertaker's real name. That's
again.
That's kind of right at that borderline. You don't really want to do that. You don't really want to get into that. But then, like I said, somebody else went that direction too tonight and crossed those same lines. But like I said, we'll get into that later. But yeah, it seems like that's something Vince is enjoying doing, is making this as personal as possible, and that's pretty much what he's got here. He's made this a very personal match between these two. So we'll just have to see exactly where they go, and like you guys said, research a little bit to find out what they mean in this match. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours.
All right.
And Florio, I want to bring up one quick thing. You and I talked about it in our brief Raw chat. I want to ask this to Fletch and Didi Woodson here. There have been rumors about switching the gimmick of the Undertaker and maybe bringing back the American Badass? Do you see that happening?
I think you're starting to see it a little bit. I mean, especially now, in the last couple of weeks, he has gone a little more of the Red Devil, Big Evil. So,
Well,
the thing I would allude to, and you said it, is going into WrestleMania. But again, we just don't know. Is it
And-
possible? Yes, but I guess we'll find out.
well, let's not forget another thing, Fletch. There were rumors a couple of years ago that they were going to do that at WrestleMania 34, but then let's just say, what was it, Kid Rock? He brought up something that really caused quite a stir with WWE, and they dropped the gimmick. Do they still have those issues with him? Because if it is, I wouldn't be surprised if they stick with the Dead Man gimmick.
Edie,
Well,
what's your rebuttal?
it's almost like they buried the Dead Man gimmick the last couple of matches. And now, like you said, he's coming out in the bandana. He's coming out looking like, biker Taker, I guess is what we can call him. But as we know, even when he was Dead Man, every time he came back, there was a subtle change. And that may be what they're doing with this one. If they're going to bring back this biker Taker, they may be, making some sort of a change with it. And it may be leading up to where that, he's already retired Dead Man, but now maybe he's doing it this way to retire this form of Taker as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, anything can happen on this.
Yeah, and as basically, it's, as we would say, take it with a grain of salt, or as you would
Right.
say, Florio.
Read into it what you will.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, because it could have been just him coming out that week, could have just been, street clothes. That could be the way he dresses all the time. We don't know. We don't know exactly.
and bring out that personal side that he had because of the way AJ has attacked
Right.
him and his family.
So, we don't know exactly where that came from, whether it was, Taker as, Mark being out there, or Taker under the badass biker, or, or what. We don't know what persona actually he was supposed to be doing when he came out. So we'll just have to see, this week as we're leading up to it, what's going to happen. So
yeah, in closing, we won't know till WrestleMania either way.
Right.
All right. Limited time, folks. Come on. So with that being said, let's get into this now. Tag team matchup. We had United States Heavyweight Champion Andrade teaming up with Angel Garza, with Zelina Vega, squaring off against the randomly thrown together tag team of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Angel Garza and Andrade, they win the match in an even 19 minutes. Now, a couple of quick news and views items. Well, actually, we'll do one here. It was announced that at WrestleMania, the Street Profits are going to defend the Raw Tag Team Championship against Andrade and Angel Garza. The plan, I believe I heard a rumor about possibly the Street Profits going up against AOP, but I believe Razor is battling an injury, so he will not be available to compete. So I guess they wanted to fill in that spot, I guess, to get everybody on the show, if you will, that they've been notorious for the last several years now. So, but nonetheless, Andrade and Garza, Street Profits on commentary. Garza and Andrade win the match, even 19 minutes. I saw our Wrestling Forum Facebook Messenger chat this evening, and we all agreed this was the fight of the night. But good old MF Michael Fletcher, you were more high on this than anybody, and you're a SmackDown guy. Go figure.
No, this was amazing, man. I don't know what you guys were watching, but this was easily 4 stars for me.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna call it 4 to 4.25 stars.
Amen.
This was without a doubt the best wrestling match that has happened at the Performance Center
Mm-hmm.
since the very beginning.
Amen.
I don't care if it's Raw. I don't care if it's SmackDown. Hell, I don't give a damn if it's NXT.
Yup.
This one topped it all.
Yes,
This
sir.
was great action, great storytelling. There was a touch of Shakespearean drama on this. And the thing I was saying to Didi the whole time was, please do not end in a screwy finish. And it did not. It was a home run. It was a perfect ending. I have to applaud all 4 men. 4 great young talents, cruiserweight style athletes, and they tore the house down. And I could really see Ricochet and Cedric Alexander as a legit tag team. They were that good. They worked so good as a tag team tonight. They've never worked together before. This was first time. And I was so convinced with this match. This was by far the fight of the night, and for me, one of the best matches I have seen at the Performance Center since the very beginning, since the coronavirus hit. So 4.25 star fight of the night. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Fletch. I'll give it about 4.25 stars as well, and definitely the best match since they moved all the shows to the Performance Center because of this coronavirus outbreak. And yeah, I mean, this was the first time they put Cedric Alexander and Ricochet together, and we didn't know what to expect. And boy, howdy, they delivered. And obviously, no surprise, Angel Garza and Andrade went over because you want to give them some kind of momentum going into that Raw Tag Team title match at WrestleMania. So, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Great job by all 4 men. So, Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely 4.25 stars. And yeah, Kevin and I was talking, and a lot of what Fletch said is what he said. I mean, Cedric and Ricochet look great as a tag team together, and would love to see them continue, doing a couple of matches that way. One thing though that has been caught by the WWE universe is the ref actually counted to 4 instead of 3. So I don't know if that's a glitch, if that's a botch. I don't know. It's weird. So yeah.
No, it was definitely a botch. I think the referee just made a mistake on that. It also looked like that there was a kind of a poor camera angle there. So I mean, you could also yell at the cameraman for kind of missing it, or you could also yell at the referee for getting the count. But no,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. It was noticeable. You didn't see it like live, but then once you if you run it back, you'll actually notice, yeah, there was a mistake.
Yeah, there was.
Clearly.
But yeah, pretty much I agree with all the comments, so it's yours, Florio.
Absolutely. Since this whole madness started, we were dreading about Performance Center matches and how they were going to come off on TV and the whole 9 yards, with no crowd. And kudos to WWE, by the way, for taking the page out of AEW's book when it comes to the camera angles during tonight's show. I mean, it was a lot like what AEW did on the last Dynamite. And wait till you hear what's coming up on this Dynamite coming up. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be amazing. But anyways, MF nailed it right on the head with the rating. This was 4 to 4.25 stars, hands down the best best match in the Performance Center since the madness started, and it surpassed an amazing tag team match we saw on SmackDown Friday night when Heavy Machinery went up against Miz and Morrison. I mean, that was the previous best match, but this one surpassed it and then some. I mean, my only gripe is what exactly did Garza and Andrade do to get the title shot in the first place? They never had a championship committee moment. This was a randomly thrown together bout. But I'm not complaining because I like this team. I'm looking forward to this match, and if it's anything like what we had tonight, this could end up being a sleeper fight of the night if all goes well. Because the challengers are not established, I thought maybe it was going to be more of a cutout fight, but I'm not going to complain whatsoever, one bit, about getting a lengthy first-run match on Monday Night Raw these days. Yes, the finish was botched, and the show really was live, but that slow-motion replay of Andrade's spinning back fist elbow, amazing. But another curiosity just came to my mind. Andrade's the United States heavyweight champion. Is there a small chance that Andrade pulls the double duty? Does he defend the United States heavyweight championship? Because let's not forget, Rey Mysterio pinned him last week. Championship committee moment, perhaps. So we'll have to wait and find that out. But unbelievable. 4 to 4.25 stars. Great matchup. Well done. This is what happens when you let 4 talented young men go in there, apply their craft, and give them time to do it. Well done. That's all I can say. Unfortunately, we go back to reality with a cutout match. Street Profits, the tag champs, they were in action against Shane Thorne and Brendan Vink from NXT. Street Profits won the match 4 minutes and 10 seconds. It was a solid showcase win for the champs. So that's really all there is to say on that. That's really what it was. Then we had the beautiful Charlie Caruso, a sit-down in-ring interview with Shayna Baszler, getting ready for the Raw Women's Championship match against Becky Lynch. And so what happened was Charlie Caruso, clearly nervous, and who could blame her? Look who she was in there with, for goodness sakes. The carnivore, as I call her, Shayna Baszler. And what happened here, Shayna was getting ready to really bully Charlie, and then all of a sudden, we see Shayna get taken out. We're like, what the heck happened? Because the lights were out. It was pitch black in there. But then the lights come up, and it was the man. It was Becky Lynch with a steel chair and took out Shayna Baszler, or went after Shayna Baszler with a steel chair. So, Michael Bullock, Shayna Baszler was trying to bully Charlie Caruso. It looked like she was about to, but then the man wasn't having any of it. A couple steel chair shots. Oh boy, as if this match couldn't get any more intense for Mania.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the thing is, for you talk about sleeper fight of the night. I think this could be one right here. When it comes to this, I mean, Shayna Baszler being that bully that trying to intimidate Charlie Caruso, and I did notice that Charlie Caruso was looking a little nervous, but then again, who could blame her, especially after all Shayna Baszler did was bite the neck out of the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. So who wouldn't want to be intimidated after something like that? And just when it looked like Baszler was gonna really bully her around, all of a sudden somebody came from behind with a steel chair, and like you said, Becky Lynch was the one who did it. So this really got intense. There's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, you could definitely tell she was nervous. I mean, there was a long pause at the beginning there before she even started talking. And that stare that Shayna did, I mean, that was, if looks could kill type stare. I mean, she just staring a hole in her, and then breaks it with that little comic relief, as Shayna would probably call it, bringing up the bite to Becky, and kind of avoiding most of Charlie's questions, but then answering one of her own. It was a good showcase of of Shayna, and yeah, in the end, Becky, got to get a little payback. So this could be, the sleeper fight of the night when it comes to WrestleMania, but we'll just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, this was definitely a good segment, good leading up to that to the pay per views coming up. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, this came off really good. I mean, Shayna Baszler was absolutely brilliant in this role. Charlie was even great in this role. I mean, you know how much I love her, and yeah, she was amazing. And all I know is the man going after her. I mean, I don't know. I mean, another curiosity point comes up. I mean, do they put some sort of hardcore type stipulation on this? Because I don't know if a straight up wrestling match is gonna, go off without a hitch. So I don't know, but that's just my thought. But if it's a straight up wrestling match, then it's got potential to be something really special. I mean, this women's match, along with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, I mean, both of those have potential to be show stealers. MF, I'm sorry to say this, but what you've got on SmackDown with that 6-pack match, aside from the Bayley and Sasha possible drama, that's got cluster bleep written all over it. Just saying. So, but with all that being said, a well done segment. I mean, great build so far for Shayna and Becky, and it's getting me even more excited to see the match, whether it's on the Saturday night or the Sunday night for WrestleMania. It's going to be great. So, whether it's a straight up wrestling match or some sort of like hardcore type match, like a street fight or an old Bart or something like that, I don't know. We'll see. So, nothing more to say. MF. I mean, well done segment, I thought.
Yeah, it was a well done segment, no doubt about it. I think it was really solid and good to say for the very least. Becky gets a little bit of some retribution, but that also does make me fear, that maybe there might be a chance that we could see maybe Shayna walking out with the belt at Mania, because this is the first time. But then again, you never know with WWE how they're going to play this, so it's going to be very interesting. So no, we'll wait and see what happens. One odd thing is that when they used the graphic, they actually labeled Shayna Baszler as an NXT superstar, not as Monday Night Raw guys. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. So Florio, it's yours.
Okay. Now the other news and views item here. Another match, and oh boy, this is you want to talk about randomly thrown together matches. This is as randomly thrown together a match as I have ever seen in all the years we've been doing this. Aleister Black is going to go one-on-one with Bobby Lashley. Okay. Holy randomly thrown together match, Batman. My gosh. I mean, that is random as random can be.
I think this was originally supposed to have been Rusev versus Lashley for Mania, but I don't know if Rusev is in the doghouse again, or if he's injured, because nobody's really said anything at the moment. But yeah, this was out of right field. Yeah, even I was like, huh? Yeah, so
yeah, throwing the home improvement on that, but nonetheless, Aleister Black squash match. Leon beats some Hammernager named Leon Ruff. Beat him in a minute. So now another great segment here. Kevin Owens cuts a promo, interrupted by Seth Rollins, and Dee Woodson. All I can say was, when it comes to in-ring segments, this to me, it's a toss-up between one of two. We'll get into the other one later on, but I thought this one came off really, really good. Both men.
It did, and this was the other one where it got very personal. Of course, they've already brought Beth into all this, and now he actually called him Adam Copeland instead of Edge. I mean, this one's the other one that I was talking about where they've hit that line and they're crossing it, and they brought up the kids, they brought up you know Edge's personal life and stuff like this. That's lines you really don't want to cross, but it's stuff that Vince is really notorious for doing. Um, taking either taking a real life storyline and bringing it, or a real life situation and bringing it into a storyline, or bringing real life just in for a storyline. So yeah, this was definitely a very strong segment to end on. Very, very.
Dee, we talking about Randy Orton and Edge. I was talking about Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Oops.
yeah, I switched. Okay. Yeah, I lost track of where we are, I think is what happened. Okay, yeah, this one was an interesting promo as well. I don't really know how to take this one, but this one was a very good promo. So very good speech from Seth Rollins. Definitely, setting up for the match. I'm not gonna say too much about it though, because, like I said, the only gripe I have is, it kind of ran a little long, with Seth. But other than that, I mean, it was a good promo. Definitely, one of the top promos of the night. So yeah, I'll flash it over to you.
Yeah. No worries. It happens. Live show, anything can happen. But I mean, we clearly saw it on Raw tonight with that referee botch. But anyways, this was great. I mean, I know a lot of people might be groaning about the match and whatnot, but this actually gave me a little bit of hope about it. I mean, we heard that great promo, that great backstage promo that Kevin Owens had on last week's show. And then tonight, KO cuts another great promo, but Seth Rollins. We've been waiting for that money heel promo from Seth Rollins. Well, he's had a few here and there. We were waiting for that one heel promo since his heel turn that would really, get us to say, wow. And tonight we finally got it. I mean, that was the best heel promo I've heard from Seth Rollins probably since the night he went off on the fans, when he cemented the heel turn. When he asked the people what was good enough for them. I mean, that was his best promo right there. I mean, two men who came up through the Performance Center, through NXT, and the whole 9 yards. And now it leads me to believe that Rollins came across as ultra confident, and why not? I mean, look at his track record. I mean, he's only lost one match in WrestleMania history, and that was to Randy Orton, WrestleMania 31, with what many people are calling maybe the greatest RKO of Randy Orton's career. And we'll never forget that at WrestleMania 31. But look at Rollins' track record. 2 wins with the Shield, 29-30. Cashing in Money in the Bank at 31. Yes, he had to miss 32 because of the knee injury. He beats Triple H at 33, wins the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at 34, and then last year did the unthinkable and beat Brock Lesnar, the first of 2 times, for the Universal Championship. The other, of course, being SummerSlam. So you think about what Seth Rollins has done in his career. I mean, it's just amazing, especially at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, on the other hand, he's only had one real WrestleMania moment, and that's when he won the United States Heavyweight Championship from Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 33. Other than that, KO can't really say much of anything. Losing the Intercontinental belt at 32 in the ladder match that Zack Ryder, of all people, won. 34, him and Lane Duckman, Sami Zayn, they lose to Daniel Bryan and Shane O'Mac. And then last year, I don't believe KO was even on the card last year, unless I missed something. But what I'm saying here as I wrap it up and get ready to give it to MF. Rollins came off ultra confident heading into this match, and I'm guessing they're setting this up to be a big upset win for Kevin Owens to give him his WrestleMania moment. I can see that. I can definitely see Owens going over here. So it's almost like what Cody Rhodes did to the Big Show going into 28. We talked all this smack about him losing and losing and losing. What happened? Big Show went over and won the IC belt. I think that's going to happen for KO. I really do. So not much more to say. Great work from both men. This, to me, far and away, the best build for this match so far. Wouldn't you agree, MF?
I agree. Best build, no doubt. As far as storyline goes, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But that very impassionate by both men. I could see. You're absolutely right, Anthony. I could definitely see KO winning at Mania. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Rollins is definitely the frontline soldier. Rollins is definitely the biggest name on the roster right now. And then we'll just have to see how it plays out. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very telling what they're going to do heading into WrestleMania. So I got really nothing more to add. So, Anthony, I'll just give it to you. All right, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think this is, like you said, best Seth Rollins heel promo since that night when he cemented his heel turn, when he said, "What is good enough for you fans?" Yeah, the nice back and forth with him and KO was basically really good and basically set up maybe for a potential Kevin Owens victory and basically giving him that WrestleMania moment that that he hasn't had since when he beat Chris Jericho for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 33. So we'll wait and see how it goes. So, Florio, what's yours?
And then we had the second rerun match of the evening. This one took us back, well, not as far as the first one. It took us back only 2 years, and it took us back to WrestleMania 34 when Charlotte Flair did the unthinkable and ended the unbeaten streak of Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. One of the banner moments from the SmackDown side of things at 34, and gave MF a proud papa moment right there. So I know MF speaks very highly of that match, and rightfully so. I mean, that was a 3 3/4 star match. And if you want to get our full thoughts on that, once again, go on over to MF's YouTube channel, BraceFan95, and look up our WrestleMania 34 review show. And you can get our full thoughts on how we felt about that match. But that was a great matchup, no doubt about it. Thing was, Asuka was red hot going into that match after having that amazing run with the NXT Women's Championship. Unfortunately, though, the company ended her streak. They fed her to Charlotte, and clearly they have had no plan whatsoever for her to bounce back. And she's still trying nearly 2 years later. But right now, she is one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, and also one of my personal highlights of Monday Night Raw nowadays when she goes off into her angry Japanese mode, which you know how much I've been digging that lately. So, especially last week with that awesome epic commentary she did. Unfortunately, no sign of her tonight, but we will see her Friday night on SmackDown when she goes up against Alexa Bliss. So that's a big moment for MF there. So we'll address that on Friday for Cerebral Smack Talk. But finally, this evening, perfect way to end the show. Randy Orton addressing he was basically getting ready to answer Edge's challenge for WrestleMania in the Last Man Standing match. Cuts another great promo, and to the surprise of none of us, he made it official. He said, "I accept," so it's on. Randy Orton versus Edge, Last Man Standing match, WrestleMania. Another top-notch promo from Orton. Right now, he's doing the absolute best mic work of his career since this angle with Edge started at the Rumble, well, the night after the Rumble. Monday Night Raw closed on a high note, and Edge and Orton has received a hell of a build thus far. And you could probably say, you could make an argument that I think out of all the matches on the card right now, this match has been built the best. I would say right behind would probably be Lesnar and McIntyre. So that's really all there is to say. This was a phenomenal. It's between this and the KO and Rollins segment for the segment of the night. But considering how Orton's been killing it on the mic lately, I got to give the slight edge to Orton here. So great way to close the show. MF, I mean, Randy Orton, this mic work he's doing is his absolute personal best right now. And tonight, no exception. And at Mania, Orton and Edge, last man standing, it's official.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match too. I think the whole world's ready for it. Everybody's all excited for that battle. And the one thing that we need to talk about, and I'll be openly honest with you on this, and I think, and now I know everybody's saying, oh, it's the best build, it's the best build. No doubt. Is it possible that they might be a contention to steal one of the main event spots for one of the two nights? I mean,
I've heard rumors about it.
I mean, I've heard that, I know they were talking about maybe Lesnar versus McIntyre or Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt being the main event on both of the nights, on each of the two nights. But Orton and Edge has really made it very interesting that, hey, I think they deserve one of the main event spots on one of the two nights.
MF, I actually came across something. Roman Reigns, who by the way is facing Bill Goldberg for the Universal title, not Bray Wyatt.
No,
even though that was the original plan. But what I was trying to get at is Roman posted a tweet saying that how he thinks him and Goldberg is going to be one of the main event spots. But then Edge responded saying, "Not so fast, my friend. Randy and I have something to say about that," or something like that. So perhaps you might be right.
I mean, if you ask the WWE Universe, I think they would probably prefer Orton and Edge more than Goldberg and Roman. Honestly,
I agree.
So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting. I think this is a good. It's actually a better reason that this isn't open to the public, because I really honestly think if Goldberg and Roman would have happened in a crowd, they would have been poo-pooing all over this. Where with Edge and Orton, this was meant for the WWE Universe.
Oh, yes.
This was meant to be in a crowd. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is great. Nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was definitely great work by Randy Orton. I mean, obviously accepting the match, we knew it was going to happen eventually, and now it's official. Edge and Randy Orton in a last man standing match at WrestleMania. And yeah, I've heard those rumors too, and I think people would rather see Edge and Orton in a last man standing match as the main event. And yeah, I mean, you guys made valid points, so there's nothing more to say. So, Dee, what's in it yours?
Yeah, I think I made a lot of my points when I accidentally did the wrong one earlier. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the top matches of the night. It's got to be a main event match, or in that last hour type time frame, because this is definitely going to be one of the showstoppers for the night. And Kevin just said that Randy Orton's wife even tweeted saying that her husband pretty much kind of nailed it, because he just kind of hit it out of the park by that promo. He killed it. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's definitely, like I said, definitely hitting the personal lines here. So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours for you.
All right, and now we're going to get into take a page out of the great Jerry Springer's book, our final thoughts on this edition of Monday Night Raw. We're going to start it off with good old MF Michael Fletcher. And all I can say, MF, is since this Performance Center stuff started, I got to probably say this was the best Performance Center show since this whole thing started. Well, MF, are you there? I was going to have you start off. All right.
I'll take it for a spin.
Yeah, Bullock. We'll start it with you here. A final thought on Monday Night Raw, and I'm very curious if you were to put a rating on this, how would you rate it?
I think you said it. I think this was probably the best show since it moved to the Performance Center. So, yeah, if I had to give a rating on it, I would say probably 7.5. I mean, but the thing is, you told some parts. Obviously, I like what they did. Obviously, with showing that Royal Rumble match just to show what Brock Lesnar is made of and what Drew McIntyre can expect. And obviously, what they're doing with AJ Styles and The Undertaker, how they continue to make this whole thing personal, and what they're doing with Edge and Randy Orton. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next week on the Go Home show. So, we just got to tune to find out. So, there's really nothing more to say. So Florio, should we check to see if Fletch is back?
I don't think he is yet. So, let's give it to Didi Woodson.
Didi Woodson.
Final thought.
Yeah, I'll give it about 7.5. This was better than some of the other Performance Center shows. At least the throwback matches weren't something we've seen in the last few months. They weren't something from this year or last year. They went back a little ways, and that was kind of nice to see something you haven't seen in a while, in place of rewatching the Royal Rumble or rewatching Elimination Chamber or something like that. This was nice to have something that was excuse me, a little bit further out. The promos definitely great. Of course, you always have to have cutouts. But yeah, still it was a great show. Definitely better than what we've had from any of them other than AEW. So yeah, they definitely took a page out of AEW's book. It probably would have been a little bit better if we wouldn't have had to have the replayed shows, but coronavirus thing, you have to go by whatever the rules are, where you can only have so many people in one place. So that's kind of what they did here. So yeah, not much more I'm going to say about it. Great show, good leading up for the pay-per-view and stuff. So yeah, I'll toss it back to you, and then you can check to see if Fletch is here or whatever.
All right,
I'm gone. Good night.
We'll see you on Wednesday, right, Didi?
I hope so. If nothing changes, I should be there.
Okay, I just wanted to check. So I'll take it for a spin, and then we'll let MF wrap it up when it comes to our final thought. Best Performance Center show by a mile here. 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I could easily put this up there as one of the best Raws of the year, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. And go figure, given the circumstances, I didn't think we were going to get anything great, but that tag team match, Garza and Andrade against Alexander and Ricochet, that was insanity. That was hella fun. It kind of gave me flashbacks to Halftime Heat. That was amazing. 4 to 4.25 star match there. And then those great segments. Another money promo from Paul Heyman. Baszler continuing to impress. Her and the Man are definitely on a collision course for some sort of hardcore type fight, maybe. I don't know. KO and Rollins, impassioned promos from both men, especially Seth Rollins, his best heel promo since the heel turn back in December. I mean, that was well done on his part. And then more awesomeness from AJ Styles getting ready for the Undertaker. I'm very curious and intrigued about this Boneyard match. I can't wait to find out what it really is. And then Randy Orton closing out as only he can, continuing the personal best mic work of his, what will undoubtedly be a Hall of Fame career when all is said and done with him. So there's no doubt about this. 7.5, teetering on 8 out of 10. Best Performance Center show, and I could probably honestly say the best Raw of 2020. Go figure. So, but that's what I would have given for a rating if we were doing ratings. So that's really all there is to say. So, MF, your final thought before I get into my Tony's take?
No, you're absolutely right, guys. This was a tremendous show and everything else. And I think WWE has finally turned a corner. Maybe it was Vince, maybe it was Heyman. And even last week on SmackDown, you could tell SmackDown is also getting better. I think what they did was they saw the blueprint by AEW, and now I think they're starting to utilize a lot more of their tactics. So they finally saw what they could bring to the table, and it's not going to be shock and awe. You can't really do that and think that it's going to work all the time. But at the end of the day, they're starting to work the right moves. They're making the right decisions, and it's looking great. So, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as they can continue to provide these great moments, I mean, WWE, you're putting yourself in a very good position going to WrestleMania. And that's the best thing to do. Get the momentum going, and we can say SmackDown last week was a far better show than it's been recently, and now Monday Night Raw had one of their best shows of the year, and you're starting to see they're starting to put it together. Everything is coming out right now. Now you got to get NXT going. If you get NXT going, look out. Now you get the Juggernaut back, and the war is back on. So, yeah, AEW is definitely leading the way. But now WWE, it looks like they finally got their legs under them, under this new coronavirus life. Now, if NXT turns around and if they explode, now the war really begun. So, we'll see. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. So, let's get into my Tony's take here. Impact Wrestling continuing their tapings from Las Vegas. And we started out with a World Tag Team Championship match. The North defending against TJP and Falaba. Winners of the match in an even 19 minutes. And still Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. Ethan Page, Josh Alexander, the North. Fight of the night, 3.5 stars. The build for this match was very good. Challengers came in hot. But at the end of the day, they weren't enough to topple the North as they delivered a really good match that played off their feud well. In-ring debut for Chris Bay. He went up against Damian Drake. Chris Bay won the match 3 minutes and 50 seconds. 2-star match. Bay looked good in his short debut. He's a young kid with a ton of potential. And I think he's a great pickup for Impact, no doubt. Then Tessa did a sit-down interview with Jimmy Jacobs talking about her big triple threat match with Michael Elgin and Eddie Edwards. That came off really well. Joey Ryan and RVD, now known as Cancel Culture, they went up against the Deaners. Cancel Culture wins the match, 4 minutes, 25 seconds. 2-star match. We'll see where it goes, but on the first day, it didn't really do anything for me. It could be good, but we'll have to wait and see. So, anyways, knockouts action. Kiera Hogan against Lacey Ryan. Kiera Hogan wins in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. 2.5-star match. Nice to see Kiera back in action, and also I'm glad Lacey gets another look. A nice and solid match, and again, Ryan may be someone they could bring in as she's done well so far. Daga against Jake Christ. Daga wins the match. 12 minutes, 25 seconds. 3.25 stars. these two have good chemistry, and they delivered another good match together. And then the closeout, a main event segment. It's very rare we get an in-ring segment instead of a match, but we had one here. Josh Matthews interviewing Ken Shamrock, and they made the announcement that Ken Shamrock will be inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame, and that'll be later this year at Bound for Glory, God willing. And interrupted that ICU thing, and he's back. For the first time since losing the World Heavyweight title to Tessa Blanchard in January, Sami Callihan. And he took out Ken Shamrock. And it was announced that Shamrock and Callihan will square off at the Rebellion event. So 6 3/4, teetering on 7 out of 10. It was an improvement over the previous week's effort. Better wrestling, nice build for the next show, and Sami's return from his self-imposed sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. So coming up this week, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, over on Access TV with the Encore at 11. An 8-way match for the number one contendership for the X Division title. Jake Crist, Rohit Raju, Trey Miguel, Daga, Cousin Jake, AC Romero, Chris Bay, and Willie Mack. Winner becomes number one contender for Ace Austin in the X Division title. Reno Scum against the other two members of the Rascals, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz. Rhino and Sabu against OVE members Dave Crist and Madman Fulton. A blast from the past. One half of one of my favorite Impact TNA tag team of back in the day, the Naturals. You remember the Naturals? One of the great TNA tag teams. I mean, who will ever forget their legendary rivalry with America's Most Wanted? I mean, that was epic stuff from the early years of TNA. One half of that tag team, Chase Stevens, went up against Moose, and another TNA Impact alum will be returning after the bout. Keep an eye on that. And then in the main event, World Heavyweight Champion Tessa Blanchard teams up with Eddie Edwards in a mixed tag team match against Taya Valkyrie and Michael Elgin. You might want to tune into that, folks, because I heard that was a great match. So I can't wait to see how that turns out tomorrow night. 8 p.m. Eastern with an encore at 11, Access TV, or if you can't, go on Twitch with MF. So, and then 205 Live, we had Joaquin Wilde. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, he was DJ Z over there, Zima Ion. Joaquin Wilde went up against Danny Burch. Danny Burch wins the match via submission, 9 minutes, 2 3/4 stars. Nice effort from both men. Burch picking up a surprising singles win here. And then his partner, Oni Lorcan, went up against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Isaiah Swerve Scott wins the match just north of 10 minutes. 3-star match, good match to close out the show. And following last week, it definitely made sense for Scott to go over. Another 6 3/4 to 7 out of 10. Perfectly solid and short 2-match show. So that's that. So that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much, as always, for tuning in. Wednesday night, the usual 10:30 start time, I'm sure, right, MF?
Yes.
All right. Wednesday Night Mayhem. And did you hear about the big match that we're going to have on AEW Wednesday night? I mean, this is something that I know MF is going to be really happy about. Kenny Omega is going to defend the AAA Mega Championship against Inner Circle member Sammy Guevara. Now, MF, I mean, isn't that the big belt in Mexico?
That is AAA's World Heavyweight title for the first time ever on network television. The Mega Campeón is going to be defended in the only other time we ever had the world champion really competing was literally back when they had a Tejano. But the Mega Campeón was not on the line that night in Lucha Underground. This is the first time ever that the AAA Mega Campeón is going to be defended on U.S. soil. It's never been defended outside of Mexico. This is one of the rare times that the Mega Campeon is going to be defended in the United States. First time ever that it's going to be defended.
Okay, so Wednesday night, 10:30, Wednesday Night Mayhem, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher over on Braves Fan 95. AEW, Kenny Omega defends the Mega Campeon against Sammy Guevara. Cody Rhodes against Jimmy Havoc. Luchasaurus against Wardlow in a lumberjack match. The Best Friends against the Lucha Bros in a parking lot street fight. And the face-to-face confrontation between Damascus Matt Hardy and Le Champion Chris Jericho. And as far as NXT goes, they said that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are going to answer to Triple H. Oh boy. You do not want to miss Wednesday night, folks. That's all there is to say on that. So I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday night. So that's it. Until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem at 10:30 with MF over on Braves Fan 95 with your ridiculously over good brother Anthony Floyo here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Twisted Angel D.D. Woodson, and always and forever the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, Mr. Hotline, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyo, so long. And bye, everybody. Bye.